To the Metro News on RayPower 100.5 FM. My name is Kedonojo Okoliko. Beginning the Metro News this evening, President Bola Tinubu has met Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer as part of his two-day state visit to the United Kingdom. The president's historic state visit to the UK is the first state visit by a Nigerian president in over decades since the last one before the return to democracy in 1999. The president is expected to sign a £746 million financing deal related to port infrastructure, along with other agreements and MOUs on trade, defense, and culture. Now the report.
This visit comes at a pivotal moment in Nigeria-Britain relations. The United Kingdom remains one of Nigeria's key partners in trade, defense, and development. But beyond economics, the relationship is deeply rooted in history, shaped by colonial rule that ended in 1960 and sustained today by strong diaspora connections. Analysts are describing it as a recalibration of that relationship from one defined by history to one increasingly driven by mutual economic interests and global positioning. For the UK, strengthening ties with Africa's largest economy supports its post Brexit strategy of expanding global trade links. For Nigeria, closer engagement offers investment opportunities and access to international financial markets. However, the relationship is not without its tensions. Issues such as governance concerns, security challenges, and differing political narratives continue to shape perceptions on both sides. Notably absent from the visit's schedule is a meeting with the UK opposition leader Kemi Badnoch, who, although of Nigerian descent, has previously been critical of Nigeria's governance record.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, has directed commanders to intensify offensive operations against terrorist elements, strengthen intelligence architecture, and adopt innovative, proactive strategies to dominate the battleplace. General Oluyede gave the directive while addressing officers and troops at the Malari cantonment in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, where he charged personnel to remain fully committed and resolute in the discharge of their duties. The Chief of Defense Staff also commended the troops for their resilience, sacrifices, and sustained operational pressure against terrorist elements across the theater of operations. Oluyede was accompanied by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, who arrived in Maiduguri for an operational assessment visit to the Headquarters Theater Command Joint Task Force Northeast, Operation Hardin Kai, barely 24 hours after recent suicide bomb incidents with the Maiduguri Metropolitan Council. He emphasized the need to maintain operational momentum and assure troops of sustained strategic support from defense headquarters toward the decisive defeat of terrorists. Meanwhile, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has assured members of the diplomatic community in Abuja that the FCT administration will continue to provide a secure and enabling environment for their operations. He gave the assurance during the St. Patrick's Day reception and official opening of the new Embassy of Ireland at the European Union complex in Abuja. Wike said the administration of President Bola Tinubu is committed to transforming Abuja into a world-class capital city comparable to others globally. He noted that improvements in security and infrastructure, adding that efforts would be sustained to enhance the city's appeal and functionality for both residents and foreign missions. The event was attended by Ireland's Minister of Public Expenditure and Reform, Jack Chambers, the Irish Ambassador to Nigeria, Peter Wren, and other members of the diplomatic corps. The Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, VON, Jebrin Babandache, and his DG counterpart for the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Olakunle Oluseye Nafiu, have joined forces to amplify the Corps' effort in promoting national integration and community development. This partnership between Voice of Nigeria and the NYSC is aimed to inspire Nigerian youth to be agents of positive change in the country. Addressing the meeting, the Vaughan DG, Jibrin Baban Dache, encouraged NYSC management to leverage the media to tell their success stories with special emphasis on the dangers of fake news. In his response, the NYSC boss appreciated Vaughan management team for its digital shift in operations, describing information as one of the critical elements of power. Both parties also cautioned Nigerian youth on dangers of unverified news from social media platforms. And following the successful completion of this year's Ramadan fast and the Eid al-Fitr celebration, the Christian Association of Nigeria Niger State chapter has congratulated the Muslim Ummah across the state. Chairman of the CAN, Most Reverend Bolus Yohana, in a statement, urged the Muslim faithful to prioritize peaceful coexistence with people of other religions. The chairman also appealed to Muslim faithful to ensure they sustain the already existing unity and peace in the state, according to him, just as enshrined in the teachings of the Holy Quran and Hadith that is centered on peace, love, discipline, and humility. They call on all to prioritize peaceful coexistence with people of other religions so that together we can all live in peace and harmony. And now you are listening to the Metro News, reaching you live on RayPower 100.5 FM. More stories after the break. Please do stay with us.
As the news drops, it breaks with us. Join us for news on the hour every hour. News desk at 12 noon, Metro News at 4 p.m. Enjoy infotainment, breaking and sports news at their best 24/7.
This is RayPower FM News.
Ramadan, a time of reflection, kindness, and sharing.
Embrace warmth and togetherness with Sedap Supreme Noodles, made with real chicken essence. Delicious, easy to prepare, and share with family and loved ones. Share kindness with Sedap Supreme Noodles. This Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem.
Sister, thanks for staying with us. Now to the rest of the news. That at least 8 bodies have been recovered from a boat carrying African migrants that was found on the coast of Comoros. Officials on the Indian Ocean archipelago made this revelation. Authorities believe the migrants were attempting to reach Mayotte, a French territory located between Mozambique and Madagascar. The vessel was discovered late on Wednesday after residents of the coastal town of Misamioli had cries for help and alerted police. There were conflicting reports on the death toll as at the time of filing this report. Meanwhile, Japan's Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, is on her way to what she expects will be the very difficult meeting with U.S. leader Donald Trump. Days after his calls for allies to help secure the war-stricken Strait of Hormuz went largely unanswered by world leaders, Takaichi told Parliament hours before her departure that she would do everything to maximize Japan's national interest. The 3-day visit to Washington was a chance to talk trade and deepen the U.S.-Japan alliance ahead of Trump's diplomatic trip to China, which has now been postponed because of the war. But now it is the topic of the war that will likely overshadow the meeting, which is shaping up to be a best of Takaichi's friendship with Trump.
As the news drops.
And now, a business update from RayPower 100 FM. And now, business update from RayPower 100 FM.
Hello and welcome to Business News on RayPower 100.5 FM. The Naira extended its gains against the euro in Nigeria's foreign exchange market on Wednesday, March 18, 2026. The Naira strengthened against the euro this week, rising from a peak of about 1,624 Naira, 1 euro, on March 10th to the current level of 1,556 Naira. Market participants attributed the Naira's recent rally against major European currencies to high demand for Naira-dominated assets. Oil and gas prices have risen sharply after fresh strikes hit energy infrastructure in the Middle East, including Qatar's main gas facility. Gas prices jumped by about 25% on wholesale markets in the UK and Europe in early trading before easing slightly. The price of gas in Europe is more than double the level seen before the US-Israeli war with Iran began. Oil is also trading higher, with Brent crude jumping 10% to nearly $119 a barrel at one point this morning before slipping to $114. On entertainment, Afrobeat singer Mr. Real has criticized his colleagues and Nigerian music fans for releasing new music and going to clubs despite the escalating insecurity in the country. Speaking in a recent video broadcast, the Legbegbe crooner accused his fellow musicians of being insensitive for continuing to release music despite the security situation in the country. Mr. Real explained that he has been unable to drop new music due to the current mood of the nation. Music giant Sony Music says it has requested the removal of more than 135,000 songs by fraudsters impersonating its artists on streaming services. The so-called deepfakes were created using generative AI and targeted some of the company's biggest acts, who include Beyoncé, Queen, and Harry Styles. The proliferation of such counterfeits causes direct commercial harm to legitimate recording artists, Sony said, and deliberately targets musicians who are promoting a new album. And that's it on entertainment. I am Onyameche Adele.
RayPower Sport.
And now to sports stories. Liverpool head coach Arne Slot has admitted that Victor Osimhen's early injury made it easy for the Reds to beat Galatasaray in the Champions League clash on Wednesday night. The Premier League Giants won 4-0 on the night, progressing to the quarterfinals 4-1 on aggregate. Osimhen sustained an arm injury early in the game following a tackle from France international Ibrahim Konate. Ronnie O'Sullivan produced a superb display to beat Sean Murphy 5-3 and reach the quarterfinals of the World Open in Yushan. After O'Sullivan's 96 break in the first frame, Murphy hit back with a 139 in the second before edging ahead. But seven-time world champion O'Sullivan responded with runs of 77 and 121 to retake the lead. Although Murphy drew level again, O'Sullivan produced further breaks of 89 and 76 to see off his fellow Englishman and advanced his 150th ranking quarterfinal.
RayPower weather.
Thunderstorms accompanied by rains are expected over parts of Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau, and the Federal Capital Territory later today. And to end the news, here is the last line. An African proverb says, "A fool has to say something. A wise person has something to say." That's it for the Metro News as produced by Ehi and Kelly Ocheme. I am Kedonojo Okoleko. Please join us at 6 p.m. for our next bulletin, Nigeria Today, and that will bring you news from across the nation. You can listen to us online on Radio Garden, online Radio Box, and tunein.com. Also, follow us for live update on YouTube at RayPower FM. Good evening.
Providing 360 degrees of information and entertainment. Reloaded for today's Niger.
RayPower, 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 RayPower.